Welcome to Creamer Media's Polity. I'm Amy Witherden. I am with former South African Intelligence Minister Ronnie Kasrils to speak about his new book entitled The Unlikely Secret Agent. Mr. Kasrils, The Unlikely Secret Agent is about the life of your late wife, Eleanor. What inspired you to write this book?
Okay, the life of my late wife, Eleanor, just 3 years in a very eventful life, 1960 to 63. She unfortunately died at the end of last year, and of course this was devastating for myself, my sons, stepdaughter, the whole family. She died suddenly from a stroke, so I was really in quite a state of shock. And after a few months, I felt that there was an untold story about her that really needed to be presented. It was known in a very sketchy way that she had been arrested in 1963, been on a hunger strike, had been transferred for assessment at a mental asylum in a lock-up section because she had actually feigned a mental breakdown. It wasn't too difficult to do that under the strenuous conditions of interrogation and hunger strike. But with her death, I wanted people to know, and I wanted to write a tribute to a wonderful human being, a person who had sacrificed much to help bring about freedom in South Africa, and to tell that story in greater detail as to what she had accomplished, how she had achieved that escape in 1963. So it's a tribute to her, and it was also became a story for her friends who were grieving tremendously as well, the family and friends. And that's the book, Tribute to my gorgeous wife, Eleanor.
Your book covers a period of your life with Eleanor in the 1960s. What happened during this time?
So it was very tense. There'd been the Rivonia arrests. The ANC Communist Party underground was suffering tremendous repression, as the people were. It was a very scary time. People were tremendously intimidated. There were spies everywhere. And in that period, Eleanor had been carrying out secret work for the ANC Communist Party and Umkhonto we Sizwe. They had come to arrest me at a small cottage in Durban where we lived together, and with her help I managed to escape. Some month later they knew she was still in touch with me and other members of the underground and helping us. So they came to her place of work on the 19th of August 1963, where the book begins, and they arrested her under that act and took her off for interrogation. They manhandled her, and this is what was happening then. But what she showed was that if you have the courage of your convictions, if it's principle in terms of a just cause, then you're defending the necessary secrets, that you can be very, very strong. And in that sense, she found tremendous courage and ability to sustain herself and to think very creatively and audaciously, which subsequently led to her escape.
Why do you call your wife the unlikely secret agent?
People would not have suspected that this very demure, modest, gorgeous, a very elegant and rather reserved woman from a privileged white background, working in a bookstore, someone who had studied art at college and had all the good things in life at hand, not a wealthy family background, but white middle class. She loved ballet and the cinema and restaurants and all the things that a young person loves. She was a divorcee by the age of 25 when she's arrested within a year. She'd been divorced and separated from her husband a few years back. So she was a single mother with a child, Bridget, when I met her and we became involved. So nobody would have dreamt that she could be involved in illegal happenings, in clandestine work, in sinister work. And that's why unlikely, and the secret agent, because she was carrying out secret work for the liberation movement.
Now, how did she get involved?
Well, I met her in Durban 1960, just after the Sharpeville massacre. She was already a person of liberal persuasion and was close to the Liberal Party as a result of the fact that she was repulsed by racism and apartheid. I met her then. I was with the ANC-aligned movement. And as we were attracted to each other, we were exchanging flirtatious glances at the Film Society in Durban, started taking her out, coffee and drinks in the cinema, and we were talking politics. And I was presenting ANC politics to this young woman who thought, and her only access to politics or understanding, and not many whites even had that, was the Liberal Party. But she could see the Sharpeville massacre, the need for greater militancy, the need to be aligned with a mass movement like the ANC, which the Liberals were not. And on that basis, she came to join. She wanted to join, and we then worked together as something of a team.
What is the key message of your book?
The key message is about not just struggle against apartheid. It's a message that ordinary people can play a role in the struggle for justice and humanity and dignity for all against racism and oppression. That a woman can become very strong and can become liberated in terms of the confines of society through involvement. So it's a book about how a ordinary person can be transformed and find courage and strength by standing up for justice. And that's a universal message, both for our country and for the world. There's an attendant element to it, and that is a message to all the people of South Africa, and especially the younger generation, and like yourselves, what living under police state was like, and why we must constantly strive for justice and freedom and democracy.
There's a beautiful picture of Eleanor on the front cover of your book. Can you tell us a bit about this picture?
Yes, I look at it every day of my life, and although I grieve and I miss her, it cheers me up every day. And I insisted to the publisher that this picture had to be on the cover. Eleanor was actually naturally a blonde, very fair, blue-grey-eyed person. Her hair here is cut very short, and it was dyed black. And this was when she had escaped. She first dressed as a boy, so the hair was cut short and dark. They were looking for a woman, but fair hair, to change it black like this. And then when we actually escaped across the border, we escaped as a Muslim couple. So this lent itself for her to dress as a Muslim woman. She actually put on a long black wig with this, and her hair was, her skin was dyed browner, as mine was. I dressed as a very conservative Muslim male. We were a married couple going to visit relatives on the Botswana or Bechuanaland border at that time. But we found this picture, and my son Andrew helped me to find it when we were preparing for a memorial meeting in Cape Town after her death. This picture was taken in Dar es Salaam. We arrived there and we had to have our passport pictures taken as refugee identity. And at Home Affairs there, they took the picture, and they were very kind, and they said, "Oh, Mama, this is a picture for your identity card. You can't be smiling. So please try and be very serious." She was smiling here because she was looking at me, and we were a little bit tense, so we kind of made each other laugh. Anyway, she composed herself, and they took a picture of a very stern-faced person, as you would find in passports. But when we picked up our refugee ID cards, he gave her an envelope with this picture. It was just passport size. And he said, "Mama, you've got such a lovely smile. It's in the picture. Keep it for a souvenir." And then I kept it with me in my wallet my whole life. So it was somewhere in my desk, where in our house where we were living when she died, and we kept looking for it. Andrew found it, and it had to be touched up a bit. There was creases in it. And we enlarged it, and it was there at the memorial with other pictures. When we came to choose the book cover, I insisted. I said, "This is going to be the most wonderful picture to go with that title." So there it is, and it is stunning, isn't it?
It's really stunning.
Yeah. And everybody remarks about it. So I think it's something that's selling the book more than what I'm writing.